Hello, everyone. So my name is Kerwin McKenzie, and I'm a travelaholic, if that's the word I want to say. It's been 28 hours since I've been in a plane. I love to travel. It's my biggest passion. I took my first flight when I was about 9, and my first international flight at 17. And today I really want to talk to you about how I use Twitter to tell people about my travels. Because I've been very fortunate. I worked in the airline industry for about 16 and a half years. And I visited over 100 countries. And what I've realized that we're all the same. We just happen to look a little different, but we do things pretty much the same way. And there's lots of misperceptions out there. And whenever I travel, I try to tweet things that I see and cover that kind of information. I usually have a phone with me, but I lost it on the bus. And it's weird when you lose your phone because it's the hardest thing. So your phone gets suspended, but then you can't forward it to another number because it's suspended. And they won't turn it on because if you get charged for it, you have to pay for it. So you're kind of stuck in a conundrum. So I had an iPad, and it's not the one that has the 3GS on it. It just has the regular Wi-Fi. So now I've been taking pictures everywhere I go. So now my tweets are not necessarily happening immediately, but whenever I find Wi-Fi. I think we had the pen group over there earlier. I do have my notebook that I do use. And my notebook is really for below 10,000 feet if anyone of you guys fly. And I know I'm talking to the drivers here, because people have driven, what did I hear, like 10 hours? I drove an hour from Wichita and I was tired. But then I love to fly. So, but Twitter is great because, so sometimes what happens is when you're on Twitter, people may not comment on your picture that you post or your thing that you post, but when you go back and look at how many hits the pictures get, you can see that they're actually looking at it. Or what will happen too is that I'll post something on Twitter and I'll also post it on Facebook. And then I'll meet people, some of my friends, some people I've never met before, and they'll say something like, oh, thank you so much, I'm living vicariously through you, but they never comment. So don't always think that people are going to comment. They just like to read it, let it see the pictures. And sometimes they'll comment, but only if something resonates with them. You know, then they'll go, oh yeah, I really get that. So Twitter is just one of the, and I didn't start out with Twitter. I had a blog back in the Blogspot days, because I started this blog about 1998. This was when, you know, the internet was kind of in its infancy. And so I did the Blogspot blog, which was great. And then I graduated to a regular domain in 2002. And then Twitter came along, and I hated Twitter. I was like, this is stupid. Why would I want to tell people where I am anyway? But then I realized that I have an opportunity that not many people have, and I really do want to share the experiences. Like, I think you were talking about pictures, food pictures, awesome. I've been traveling for a bit, and I've been drinking different beers. I like to drink local beers, but there doesn't seem to be a local beer for Kansas. So maybe you guys. Is there? Well, see, I'm actually staying here, but I asked last night and the lady said there wasn't. So I'd have to talk to some of the locals to try to get a local beer, because my journey is never complete without the local beer. So one of the beers I had, I think it was Wisconsin, was called Moose Drool. I've never tasted the actual moose drool, but I guess, I don't know, but somebody came up with that name. But so I try to tweet that kind of information out and make sure that people understand that, you know, like I said, we're all typically the same, you know, we just live in different places. I grew up in Jamaica in a town called Carisbrook, which, like I said, had about 130 something or so people. I remember being a school was like 3 miles away and we walked, but we had fun anyway. And I have no idea how I figured out how to get back home every day, but I did. And my town was so small that if I misbehaved at school, for some reason, my grandmother knew before I got home. And we didn't have any phones. So, so I do a blog. It's cruisingaltitude.com. It's a current blog. And on Twitter, I am MSKONFA1990, which is actually my initials backward. And it's of no fixed address. And 1990 was the year I got my first real car. So it makes sense to me, but now, I think someone was talking about marketing yourself this morning. I think it's @partyblogger. I don't think if I changed my URL to MSCon for 1990, anyone would get it though. So it's probably going to remain as that. But I give travel tips online, so and I call it Travel Tips Tuesday. So my travel tip for today to anyone who's traveling is just always communicate with the people that you meet, because you never know when your paths are going to cross, or you can help that person out. And that's my talk that I have. I'm a little early, Becky, but I'm all set. Thank you very much for your time.